Have you ever had that gut-wrenching feeling when you lose a sale that you were sure would close? They seemed so ready to buy, you felt so connected, but then they said, I need to think about it. It's like a punch in the stomach, right? After thousands of sales calls and over $20 million in sales, I've discovered the secret to bringing in new clients and making those sales is actually founded in the psychology of selling. In this video, I'll walk you through the 5 psychological steps that eliminate objections, remove that awkwardness of selling, and turn the right prospects into excited buyers. Let's hop into number 1. Stop pouncing, pitching, and pressuring. Pouncing happens when someone shares a problem and you jump in too fast with a solution. You don't ask questions, you don't get to know them, it feels pushy. People think, you don't even know me, so how can you solve my problem? It comes across as super salesy. Pitching is similar. It's like walking around throwing your offer at everyone. They didn't ask, they're not interested, and then there's pressuring. That's when you try to force someone into action. It's that vibe of, you'd better do this or else. None of these work. Not pouncing, not pitching, not pressuring. I saw someone do a hard sell recently. She came out strong, saying things like, if you were really serious about your business, you'd have done this by now. She actually said that. Now, she made some sales, sure, but guess what? A third of those buyers asked for refunds after the fact. Why? Because when you push people, they react. They either give in or they push back. It's like that rule in physics. Every action has an equal and opposite reaction. Think about it like you're dealing with a teenager. If you tell them they have to do something, they just resist, or they'll agree just to shut you up, but they don't actually mean it. And that's exactly what happens in sales. When you hard sell, you might get a yes in the moment, but later when the bright lights are gone, the music's off, and they've had some time to think it over, they regret it. And yeah, that yes, it wasn't real. So what's the better approach? Stop making it about getting the sale. Most people go into a sales situation thinking, how do I get them to buy? We're so intent on getting that new client. We're overly hyper-focused on getting the yes. But here's the problem. If you're focused on getting, all your attention is on you, not on them. And when you're focused on you, it comes across as selfish, even if you don't mean it to. It's like you're trying to get one over on them, and that's when you start pouncing, pitching, and pressuring. Mostly we do this because we care so much about helping people. We want the sale to happen, but this doesn't actually work. Instead, shift your mindset. Forget about closing the sale. Your job is to create partnership. Be okay with walking away if it's not a fit. When you do that, you take the pressure off yourself and you take the pressure off them. Now you can truly focus on helping. Look at their problem together. Figure out if your solution really fits. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. Either way, when you come from a place of partnership, something amazing happens. They trust you, and trust is everything. It's the foundation. When people trust you, the sale becomes natural. It's no longer about pressure. It's about solving a problem together. All right, number 2, set a clear agenda at the start of the conversation. Why is this so important? Because it actually creates the space for you to sell something without pushing. Without setting that clear agenda up front, things can get awkward fast. Also, when you don't frame the purpose up front, they start steering the conversation. They ask random questions. They might even go fishing for some free advice. And now you've lost control of that conversation. Here's a pro tip. You want to set a clear agenda before the call even starts. There's nothing worse than hopping on a Zoom or on a phone call under false pretenses. You know the drill. Someone says, let's grab a cup of coffee to chat, and halfway through, bam, out comes the pitch. No one likes that. Instead, you want to position yourself so people come to you already curious and interested. For example, let's say you're at a networking event. Through a natural conversation, you let people know, I help business owners double their sales without working harder. Now what happens? People come to you. They're leaning in. They're asking, wait, what? How do you do that? And all of a sudden, you've got a dialogue going. Now, here's the key to doing this well. Don't sell right there. Why? Because you don't know enough about them yet to make a solid offer, and you probably don't have time. Instead, you can say something like this. Hey, you've asked some really great questions. It sounds like we might have more to talk about. Let's schedule a separate conversation where I can understand more about your situation and what you're looking for. Then we can see if we might be a fit to work together. That's actually code for we're gonna have a sales conversation, and they know it. Now they're electing to get into that conversation with you. Now let's talk about setting the agenda when the sales call actually begins. Don't waste time with small talk. Go straight in there. No, how's the weather? How's your day going? You're here to make an impact with them. So start strong. Hey, great to see you today. My intention for our call is to take a look at your current situation, understand what's going on, and see if and how I can help you reach your goals. Does that sound good? That's it. It's simple, it's direct, it's professional. When they say yes, you know you're speaking to someone who's genuinely interested in working with you. And here's the best part. You've weeded out the tire kickers and the freebie seekers. Now, when it's time to make your offer, it's not awkward. Why? Because they already know why they're there. They're expecting an offer. They're ready, and so are you. Set the agenda, and you'll never feel awkward about selling again. If you want to increase your fees, convert more sales, and magnetically attract top dollar clients, then be sure to grab my digital ebook, The High Ticket Selling Revolution. Just click the link in the description to get it for free. Let's jump into number 3, speaking to their bigness, not their smallness. This is a game changer, especially when you're selling high ticket offers or premium products. Sure, this is important for all sales, but if you're aiming for a premium or high ticket price point, this is non-negotiable. Here's the thing. On any given day, people feel one of two ways. They're either fired up, ready to conquer the world, feeling like a winner, or they're not. They're feeling beat down. They're the bug and not the windshield. We've all been there. Good days, good moments, bad moments. But here's what most people miss. How you talk to your prospect ultimately determines which of them shows up in the moment. Let's say someone gets on a call with you and they say, "Oh, I'm just curious. I don't think I can do this right now." Or, "I've got too much credit card debt already, but I just wanted to check you out." What's happening there? They are trying to pull you into their small story. They may be consciously aware of that or not. They're telling you they're stuck. They're playing small and they're not capable of more. And if you're not careful, you might start believing that story too. Here's the reality. Asking what's wrong over and over, really digging it in, it can backfire. Some people call this grinding the knife or pouring salt on a wound, and it makes the other person feel even smaller. And people who feel small, they don't make big decisions. When someone feels small, all they want to do is curl up on the couch, grab a blanket, and eat chocolate cake. Big people buy big things. Your job? Speak to their bigness, the part of them that knows they're made for more. And here's how you do it. Instead of jumping in with a quick fix or a solution or your offer, first ask questions that allow them to shift into their bigness. What do you really want? Why does that matter to you? What's missing right now that might change everything for you? These questions move them out of their small negative space and into a place of possibility. Then take it even further. What would it feel like if you actually solved that problem? How would you see yourself? What will you be able to accomplish then when you do this? Here's the magic. When they tell you what's possible, it's way more powerful than you telling them. Why? Because when they say it, they believe it. If you say it, it just feels like they're being sold. But when they talk about their dreams, their energy shifts, their mindset changes. Suddenly, they're not stuck anymore. They see the possibility for momentum. Remember, your job is to hold the bar high. They might come into the conversation with the bar low. They might try to convince you that they're hopeless or their situation is hopeless or it's hard and it hasn't worked before, but don't let them pull you down. Instead, lift them up. Help them see what's possible when they think bigger. When the bar is raised, that's when they buy. Remember, people buy possibility. Number 4, be committed, not attached. Let me tell you something that makes all the difference. When you step into a conversation, Don't go in desperate to close the sale. Show up committed to helping, not selling. Here's the deal. If you're attached to making the sale, you'll probably push too hard. You might even cross lines you shouldn't. And trust me, the person on the other side will feel it. But if you're committed to finding a good fit, everything changes. Think about it. If you're just chasing the sale because you want to hit your numbers or fatten your wallet, or you just really need that new client, what's the focus of the call? Again, it's you, not them. And guess what? People know when it's all about you. They can feel it. They can sense it. You've probably been on the receiving end of this kind of situation where you could feel that the person just wasn't genuine. They were just trying to make a sale. Here's the truth. There are plenty of clients out there, loads of opportunities. Whether this person says yes or not is not going to make or break your success. Let that sink in. When you trust in the abundance, when you truly believe that your success doesn't hinge on this one call, you can show up differently. You're calmer, you're more present, you're focused on them. Suddenly the conversation isn't about closing the deal at all. It's about them gaining clarity. It's about them making progress. It's about helping them move toward their goals, whether they work with you or not. And that's the sweet spot. This is real sales mastery. When you stop clinging to the outcome and focus on standing shoulder to shoulder with them as a partner, looking for the best solution, they'll feel it. They'll trust it. When people sense you're not in it just for yourself, they're going to open up to you because they feel safe. I like to think of it this way. I'm committed, I'm not attached, and I preference. Because if they are a fit and they work with me, I know I'll deliver. I'm not sure about those other people out there, so I have a preference. And even if they're not a right fit for what I do, they might refer a friend who is. Why? Because they remember how you made them feel, heard, supported, value. And that's the kind of person that people respect. That's the kind of person that they want to say yes to. That's where a real sales mastery happens. Staying committed, but not attached, whether you've got $1 million in the bank account or none. Number 5, stop handling objections. Handling objections gets messy fast and rarely ends well. When objections pop up, it always seems to be at the end of the conversation. There's a minute or two left, and that's when they hit you with I need to think about it, or I need to talk to my spouse. You're already 90 to 95% of the way into the conversation, and you don't have time or space to recover. And honestly, trying to address objections at that moment, it feels awkward for you and pressury for them. Here's a better way. Eliminate objections before they even come up, before you even make the offer. If you do the right things before you ever even get on the phone or on a Zoom call with your prospect, you can clear the runway and avoid those objections altogether. Let me give you one example of how I approach this. One of the things that we develop with our clients as part of their sales language is something that I call addressing false thinking. False thinking happens when your prospect has a belief or a thought that isn't true about your offer, but it keeps them from saying yes anyway. Here's an example from my world. I teach high-ticket sales training and coaching. And you know what's out there? Tons of high-ticket selling scripts. Just Google it. You'll find them. You can download one in minutes. Now, here's the thing. Some people think that they don't need sales training because they can just grab one of those scripts. But that's a false belief. It's false thinking because scripts don't work. They're stiff. They feel mechanical. And the moment that the prospect takes you off script and they don't say what they're supposed to, it all falls apart. So what we do instead is we teach a custom conversation built around a 7-step blueprint that we know actually works. So what do I do about this false thinking? I address it before it can ever become an objection. I set the stage before we hop on a call. I create content that tackles this head on. For example, I'll make a video or I'll write an article explaining why high-ticket selling scripts don't work. I break it down so it's crystal clear. And then before anyone gets on a strategy call with me or a conversation where we're going to talk about doing business together, I send them that content. By the time we're face to face, they already know. Okay, scripts aren't going to cut it. I need a better solution. That objection, gone. So what about you? What's the false thinking that's keeping your prospects from saying yes? Once you know what that is, create something to tackle it, a short video, a quick guide, whatever works, and send it to them before your call. Because when you clear those roadblocks early, you set yourself up for a smooth and confident, no pressure conversation, and of course, more sales. If you've loved this video, grab a copy of my digital book. It contains 9 more secrets to make high ticket sales, plus our front to back formula on how we do the sales conversation. The link is in the description. Thanks so much for watching. I can't wait to hear about your next high ticket sale.